just go over the risk profile or the profit loss diagram really quick because a few people are asking. So we're just going to use a long stock position, just purchasing stock. We're not going to use options, just for the first example to make it simple. So let's say we purchased SPY for $270 a share. You could see $270 a share. And what would our profit loss diagram look like? So the profit loss chart, or risk profile, as some brokers will call it, is just a function. This line is a function that shows the relationship between the stock price and your profit loss. So it's just a normal chart that you've learned that you learn in high school math. It's pretty simple, but sometimes it can be a little hard to wrap your head around when you see these complex, bell-shaped curves and stuff like that when you start throwing different option strategies in there. But let's just look at a long stock in order to get an idea of how this works. So on the bottom, and this chart doesn't include commissions, so just the calculations are done without commissions just for simplicity, so keep that in mind. So right here is your break even at 270, right? That's where you bought the stock. You remember, this isn't options. So you bought the stock at 270. You make no money if the stock is at 270, right? As the stock increases, watch the x-axis down here. Watch the x-axis. As the stock increases, 71, 72, 73, your profit loss, this white number, increases. And that's shown right here on the y-axis, right? So when you plug in a value, let's say when x is equal to 300, when the stock is at 300, our y right here is equal to what? 3,000, right? Right here. And what's what's the point on the y-axis, or the coordinate on the y-axis? Right here, 3,000. So 300, 3,000 is a point on this line, right? So when the stock's at 300, your profit loss is plus 3,000, right here. You can see it right here. And as the stock drops below your entry price, so it's at 270, now it's going 269, 268, your profit loss is negative, right? It's shown by here. This is the zero line. This gray line is the zero line. Your purchase is right here at 0. Okay, so now we understand as the stock price increases or decreases, you look up to the line. So there's a point on the line, right? When the stock's at 260, what's the point on the pink line? That represents your profit or loss, right? Negative 1,000.
It's 2 o'clock.
So when it's at 260, right here, this point, negative 1,000, shown right here, right? 260, negative 1,000. Okay, so now we know how it works. The stock price increases or decreases, and you plug that value in and find the point on the curve that will represent the outcome or the output of the function, right? Okay, so now let's look at an options trade. Same thing. Let's look at a long call. Let's look at the maybe the February 19th. Okay, and we'll pick a strike. We'll pick something out of the money so it's a little easier to calculate, and we'll pay $1 flat for it, just for example purposes. Now let's look at the risk profile. Ignore these two numbers at first. Just look at the blue one. This you can specify a sooner or a later date, but that's I'll get to that in a bit. All right, so the blue line. So this is a 275 strike, right? That expires on the 19th of February. Okay, so that's what this date is. This blue line represents the profit loss on expiration. Okay, so if the stock is at the current price, which is around 270, that's what this gold little nick is. See it on the chart right here at 270. Okay, so as the stock at expiration, if your strike is 275 and the stock is under 275, it's worthless, right? The option gives you the right to buy the stock at 275, and if the stock's at 274, your option's worthless at expiration, right? Because why would anyone exercise the right to buy the stock at 275 when you can buy it for 274 on the open market? So it's worthless, right? As it starts to go above 275, it has a value equal to its intrinsic value, right? If the stock's at 276 and your strike's at 275, it's worth $1, right? It gives you the right to buy the stock at 275 and it's at 276, so it's worth $1. That's why your break even, this red line, is going to be 276, right? Because you paid $1, your break even is represented by the red line. But without getting to, see, they show the current price with this nick and your break even with the red line. That's going to differ from software to software, but the premise behind how this curve works is all the same. So as the stock price on the bottom increases or decreases, you look to the value on the line and you see your profit loss. So anything under 275 at expiration is going to be negative 100, right? That's why this line has a slope of 0 and it just goes on until the stock hits 0 on this axis, but they don't even show it. You could keep going and going and going and it's going to be straight, because you can only lose $100, right? That's all you can lose. As the stock increases, your profit loss will increase to infinity on this side, but wouldn't that be nice? Yeah, theoretically, it can go forever, right? As the stock gets to 280, what's your profit loss at expiration? Let's call it $400, right? So that's what this number that's changing right by the mouse is. But all it's doing is showing you the y coordinate on this side, right? You plug in 280, you get a y coordinate. Just like, you get a function, y equals x plus 1. You plug in 2 for x, and you get 3 for y, right? It's just a regular chart. So that's pretty simple. And now that you understand how it works, you can incorporate different strategies. So let's look at the money straddle, right? So we'll buy a call, buy a put. Oops, that was selling a put because I clicked the bid. So buy a put. We'll buy them both with the same strike, just for simplicity. Here's this 270. Okay, 270 and 270, and we're going to pay $1 for each again, just to make this easy. Even though in the real world we can't choose how much we pay. Well, I guess you can if you're willing to wait. All right, let's look at the risk profile. It's going to be a V, obviously, right? As the stock price on the bottom decreases, your profit loss goes up. As the stock price on the bottom increases, your profit loss also goes up. And you can see the white number, it's going up and up, right? These red lines are now your new break even, right? If you paid $1 for the call and $1 for the put, and they're both out of the money, right? So it's all time value. Well, I guess even if they're in the money, your break even is the strike plus the premium you pay. So 270 plus $2, 272 is going to be your break even. Or on the other side, it's going to be 268, right? Right here, 268. It's hard to get it right on. That's at 267.99. So 268. And that'll cover both premiums, right? Ignore this line. So yeah, it'll cover both premiums if you get past one of these red lines. Anything before the red lines is the curve. This blue line is under the 0 line. See the gray 0 line? So anything, if the stock is at 269, you're going to be down. I guess it's calculating on 10 contracts, so it would be 1,000, but it would be about $100, right? At 269, down $100. So yeah, it's pretty simple. The bottom is your stock price, and right here is your profit loss. And all you do is you plug in a stock price. I think it's going to be at 290. What's my profit loss with this strategy? You're going to look for the point right here, but the computer does it for you now. So if the stock's at 290 at expiration, what's my profit loss? Right there, 1807.67. That's if it's at 290.08, which is just the y coordinate right here. right under 2,000, 18 something. So hopefully that helps. And if you guys want to learn some more cool stuff you can do with this, let me know.